This is the story of my good friend Paul Sandiford, although most of us just call him Snake. He's been traveling around the roads of America for more than 2 years now, and the way he chose to do it is nothing short of fascinating. And what's even more surprising is how little he's actually spent on campgrounds. It's going to blow your mind. I knew I had to sit down with him for a video so you could hear his story and pick up some of the incredible insights that he's learned along the way. Snake, it's great to see you again. How long have we been friends?
50 now.
50 years. We go way back. We go back to when you had an RV dealership in Lorain, Ohio. And it was basically for vans, right?
Yeah, we had motorhomes, and then we did custom vans.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were telling me something yesterday that really stood out in my mind, and that is Class Cs were going for how much back then?
$12,000, $13,000.
Things have changed a bit.
Quite a bit.
How long did you have Sandy's vans and things?
Older than I worked it, but I worked there 22 years. Mm-hmm. My dad started it in the 60s.
Right.
Travel trailers. RV wasn't a word at that point.
Right.
The travel trailers were the thing. Mm-hmm. Motorized weren't invented yet or popular. So he bought one travel trailer, and all the neighbors and relatives wanted to use it. So I thought, I need another one because everybody's using mine. And that's how it started. And you start renting them out and build a fleet of 60 rentals.
And then you kind of moved away. You moved to Florida, right?
Yeah, in 91.
Got involved in real estate. Kind of forgot about the whole RV thing.
Yep.
But then this RV trend started up, and what motivated you to start traveling?
Several things started it. One was COVID. Mm-hmm. I thought everybody was like losing time. You know, students weren't graduating with their class. People weren't going anywhere. And I looked at my watch and said, time's a ticking.
Yeah.
And so as soon as that lifted, for the most part, I said, I got to get busy on my bucket list.
Mm-hmm. So how did you go about selecting a van to travel in? What was your thought process through all that?
Being in the motorhome industry all those years, I realized that each style of coach had a purpose, a trailer, a fifth wheel, a Class A, etc. I knew I wanted to stay mobile, fast, and I just thought, okay, Class B is the way to go in this case for me, because I want to see everything. Now, if you're a person that wants to park for a week or two, you don't need a B.
Right.
B's for the person that's really on the road and wants to see everything, because you could park it, you can drive it everywhere, easy to get around. So what I first did, I thought, I'm going to fly out to Vegas, rented one for a month, toured southern Utah, northern Arizona. It hit me like a sledgehammer on that trip. I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. Mm-hmm. Returned the rental and went back to Florida, and 2 weeks later I owned one.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What were you looking for in a van that you would actually put your money on the table and buy?
Well, I looked at everything. Everything from affordability, gas mileage, floor plan, comfort, quality, and I looked at a lot of them. And some I dismissed automatically on quality, some on poor floor planning. Mm-hmm. Came up with the Thor Sequence for my choice, and have no regrets to this point. Love it.
What are some of the pros for that Thor Sequence that, caught your eye?
Well, one, you can get it on either Mercedes, Ram, or Ford chassis. And I looked at all chassis, compared all chassis, and decided that the Dodge Ram sat lower to the ground, so a lower center of gravity, less rocking. It's the only one with front wheel drive, which deletes the drive shaft going to the rear, so they can lower the floor a little bit, giving you a little bit more headroom and a lower center of gravity.
Right.
Also, it's the widest of those three vans, so you can get a full queen or king size bed in the Ram. Then in the floor plan part, or the back part of it, I wanted a rear bathroom because I felt the side bathrooms take up too much room and block off the hallway. So I went with a rear bath, and then I have two twins that make up a full king bed. So all those little things kind of went into it, and a few more, but that was probably the bulk of it.
There was another thing that you told me about, the concept of being stealth. of being quiet, unnoticed. Explain that.
Typically, if you want to avoid campgrounds, you get a generator. Generators make noise.
Yeah.
Most places tell you no noise after 10 o'clock.
Right.
So now it becomes useless in the middle of the night. Where with what I have in this van, I've got solar on the roof, a second alternator under the hood. So my lithium batteries are charging by day while it's sunny or anytime I'm driving. They're powerful enough to run my AC, my furnace, whatever I want quietly. So I can park on the side of a street or anywhere, run everything, and not have to worry about changing oil in the generator or the noise of it or even sucking gas. It's just
You've been doing this for how long?
26 months.
Okay.
Actually, a few days over.
And how much have you spent on campgrounds?
I'm under $300 thus far, which I almost feel guilty in saying, but I'm proud of it.
That's remarkable. I thought we did well for about 4 years, where we averaged maybe about $30 a night. But, you know, we were boondocking, we were in state parks, and we had memberships and so on and so forth. You have none of that.
None of that.
And 300 and some odd dollars
Yeah.
for 26 months. Where are some of the places you stay?
I have stayed everywhere in this country. Some of my fun ones, I've stayed 2 nights on Big Sur, right on the cliffs. I've stayed in Monument Valley, the Salt Flats of Utah. Just so many river, streams, parks, just on the edge of something. And then, of course, if you're on the road, you always have the Cabela's, most Walmarts, some Planet Fitnesses, things like that. You can stay as you're traveling. Once I get off the road, use BLM Land, and there's also an app called, the one I like to use. There's several of them, but I use iOverlander, and that will show you, when you populate it, all the spots that you can camp for free, or campgrounds, showers, dump stations, etc. And then when you click on one of those little icons, it will explain what that site looks like. Is it level? Is it gravel or concrete? How many bars Verizon or AT&T service you get? So it's a real handy tool, and now I don't worry about where I'm going to stay. I don't have to make reservations, or is it full? I know that I'm going to have a camp spot, beautiful camp spot, almost every night.
And no memberships.
No, well, I got Planet Fitness membership.
Oh, well, of course, you know, I understand that. What about preparing food and things like that?
I've got 3 surfaces I can prepare food on. I've got a 2-burner stove, a convection microwave oven, and a 17-inch Blackstone flat-top griddle. The griddle I, of course, use outside, and I love cooking breakfast on that. Bring the bears in and the scent of that bacon. But so yeah, those 3 surfaces are what I primarily use.
Have you seen some bears?
Oh, yeah, I have. I was cooking breakfast in North Mountains of Georgia. I didn't know it, but the bear was watching me all morning cook. And then when I finally cleaned up and carried everything 30 yards away, put it in a garbage can, I heard I turned around and started walking back to my Class B, and he kicked over the garbage can. And I went, wow. He had been watching me. So when I went back to the site, just next to where I was cooking was a big bear path through the woods.
Wow.
So yeah, that was exciting.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so. But you know what? Yesterday we went through an RV show, and it was really a great learning experience for me, and fascinating to actually go through the B vans with you. I mean, you know these things inside and out. You were pointing out some of the fallacies. And I'll never forget one with the toilet, where they had designed this B van where the toilet, you sat on it and you couldn't close the door to the bathroom.
No, you had to hang your feet out in the aisle.
I couldn't imagine that, you know, especially for traveling with somebody.
Yeah.
Who designs things like that?
Somebody who hasn't camped before.
Exactly.
Because they are so compact and so tight, you got to make every inch count, and you want it to be comfortable, open, roomy, If it's too confining and too much like a maze, you're going to get claustrophobic in it. And,
Right.
So it's nice to be able to see through that, because you can, at an RV show, you could be wowed by the color or the size or the price of it,
Right.
and not look at how the cushions feel or what the toilet's like as far as sitting on it and stuff.
Another thing you pointed out were like drains and hose attachments that were actually inside the back door and not mounted on the outside of the B-van.
Yes, there are some manufacturers, in order to fill the water tank, you have to open the doors while you're filling, which can be 10, 15 minutes sometimes. And now you got bugs, mosquitoes, rain, all sorts of things. Heat going out or hot air coming in. So yeah, that to me is an amazing feature that I can't believe a manufacturer would use it like that, to put everything inside the doors versus outside where it's an easy hookup.
So like you say, a lot of people who are designing these, or some of these B-vans, have never camped or never used them.
Yeah, they may buy that model of B-van and think they're gonna love it, and then when the first night they go to hook up water, they go, oh, what's this? I got to leave the doors open.
Yeah.
They didn't think far enough ahead or look at everything. They got wowed either by the price or the floor plan or something. So, oh, we can afford that, and I like the way that looks or feels,
Right.
without ever studying all the features and options, how they're made, connected, fit, work.
So have you had any problems, any breakdowns, anything that didn't work? Or
I've had 0 off the Dodge Ram. Change oil, change the tires, brakes, that's it, normal maintenance. Early on, during the warranty phase, I had 2 issues with propane. One was they weren't able to fill it, couldn't hook up. Remember where I went, nobody could fill it. And then they fixed that real quick, just put a different valve on it. And then the second time, it was blowing fuses. Every time I would throw the propane switch on, a fuse would blow. And they finally found that. So those were the only 2, and I call them relatively small instances, because they're just both propane related. Fortunately, under warranty, they had them fixed, and no issues since.
wow, how many thousands of miles have you driven?
I'm now over 61,000 miles in the little over 26 months.
Jeez, that's amazing. So you don't stay in place too often.
No, typically anywhere from 1 to 3 days. I've done some 5-day stints. I've done 2 months at one time in the desert outside of Vegas. But usually, 1 to 3 days. As soon as I can see everything, hike everything, on to the next place.
Right. Well, when you left Florida, after you got your van, where was the first place you went?
This was fun. It was a Friday, about 4 o'clock, so there's a lot of traffic. I had been cramming to get to launch, packing everything, and gotta go. Finally, at 4 o'clock on a Friday, I left, because now I'm in rush hour. Now it's raining, and I'm exhausted. I'm going. So I stopped at a campground about 10 miles from my house. This was part of the $300 I've spent in camping. I think it was $39 there, and went into a park. And I thought, well, that's a big vacation I'm on so far. I got 20 miles or something.
Yeah, right.
So that was the first place. And then I went into Georgia and enjoyed that. This was now in the summer of 23. The Canadian fires were inundating America with smoke,
Right,
in a lot of places. So as I came up north, I had to bob and weave so I didn't run into the smoke. So I bypassed Nashville, which was an intended stop for me, and I went over more towards the coast and then on up to Niagara Falls.
The one thing about having that B-van, you can go places where we couldn't go in our A.
That's a fact, yeah. Like Road Through the Sun in Montana. They'll tell you there's signs at the bottom, nothing over 21 feet.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm at the limit, but I'm in.
Right.
I love photographing the mountains of southern Utah and northern Arizona. I think that's an amazing part of this country, on over all the way into New Mexico. But I've done things like helicopter rides over Mount Rushmore, hot air balloon rides in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We got to see the Eagles and the Sphere in Las Vegas. I visited Red Rocks and saw Killer Queen, an English Queen tribute band. It just doesn't stop. I camped on the edges of Big Sur and no bothers. And that's another thing that as I've camped everywhere for free, basically, I've not had one knock on the door.
No kidding.
Not one.
That's fantastic.
So I'm doing something right.
Right. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you were in a shady area or anything like that?
I was in all kind of areas. Some I had to go through water and come up, and I've got tree branches dragging on each side of the van. So I'm out in the back boonies and going, God, I hope nothing happens, because nobody will ever find me back here.
Yeah.
So I've been in private, quiet places like that. I did a little thing before I left, which was I wanted to build a security system for my van, and I had these solar lights that are motion detected, and I put magnetic strips on them. So I just stick them to the van in all four corners, and now I get like a 30-foot notice if they'll come on if even an animal runs around or something. If you pull into an area and you see bars on the windows and doors,
right,
keep moving.
Yeah, it's a no. That's a no.
That's a no.
Yeah, exactly. Do you recommend people go by themselves? Are you happy doing that? What's your feeling on that?
I've done it both ways, and they both have advantages and disadvantages. By myself, I can move quicker. I'm not waiting for anyone, just doing my thing on my time.
I understand that.
That part works. Would it be nice to have somebody to share it with? Most definitely. I almost feel guilty or selfish in that I have an open seat and I'm not sharing it with somebody, because it is so awesome. I wish my eyeballs could be projected from what I've seen, and people could see what I've seen through my windshield and through my camera. Yeah, it'd be good to have a partner. For a while, I traveled with 2 bicycles on the back, letting somebody believe that there's at least, if I'm out pumping gas, that there's another person in that van.
That's smart.
It also helped me on the HOV lanes, where they want 2 people or more with 2 bikes on the back.
I never thought of that.
And then, of course, I always had a plan B. If something happened to one of the bikes, I had a spare.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I have seen a lot of women travel by themselves, a lot. So there's a lot of single people, both men and women out there. I would caution women to be a little bit more cautious than a guy. But no incidences, no problems, nothing. So it's been easy for me. There's never been a moment where I've hesitated and thought, this isn't fun or this is dangerous or anything. It's just been fun. From here, I'm headed up to New England, Arcadia National Park.
Oh, nice place.
And then I'm going to follow the fall leaf foliage, turning all the colors all the way down through the Virginias and that.
I think what you're doing is really outstanding. People can follow you, of course, on Facebook.
Yeah. Paul Sandiford.
Okay.
And because there's going to be several Paul Sandifords, I'm the one standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, and I would imagine you wouldn't trade it for anything.
Nothing. I've been following the weather, so I keep my temperature between 50 and 80 degrees. I've only encountered now 15 days of rain in the 26 months. So the weather's perfect, the foods are perfect, the people, the photography. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's the best thing that I've done in probably my life, the best feeling I've had. I tell people now that I feel better now than I have in 10 years. It's truly a good lifestyle and a lot of fun.
Well, we're going to keep following you.
Please do. I love it.